What's up, guys? Ty Rivera here, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Cardi B turned herself in, and it's just one of those things that they do as a formality because apparently Nicki Minaj was talking on Queen Radio with two girls at the bartend at a strip club in New York called Angels, and Cardi B supposedly sicked her goons on these girls, and these girls got beat up. And so technically the girls didn't snitch, but the police heard about the Queen Radio interview, and that became a deal, and so Cardi B had to turn herself in, and she's probably going to be charged with 2 misdemeanors, which gives me a chance. I was on the road when Cardi B got in the fight with Nicki Minaj, where she threw the shoe at Nicki Minaj and also had the big knot on her head after Nicki Minaj's security supposedly elbowed her. People were asking me how I felt about that, and the thing with me and that situation is I can kind of get both sides. I understand when somebody is completely taunting you and you feel like you have to get at them, which is the Cardi B part of it, and I understand also the side where people are like, yeah, I get it, but you just can't do that. Because it can't turn into a love and hip hop reunion every time that Cardi B is going to be somewhere. And people will stop inviting you places if they feel like, yeah, I don't want my party getting broken up or the cops having to be called every time you come out. Like, I like you. I like your energy. I like your vibe. I even like the fact that you're a little bit ratchet. Well, these are all things people have said to me. But you just can't do that, which I learned that a long time ago. There will be people that make me mad or whatever, but like as far as physical altercation goes, you really do have to at some point in your life refrain from doing that. Like I talked about a situation where somebody physically attacked me. I think it was like a year ago now, something like that. And I have to say, I had no emotion towards this situation. Like, I just subdued the person, like, kept them, like, from doing any real damage to me until somebody pulled him off, security could get him. And it was just like a situation where I just basically restrained them because I didn't care. I didn't want to fight with this person, and I didn't feel physically threatened by them, so I didn't feel like, oh, I have to fight for my life right now. I felt like this sad, sad person just put his hands on me, and I just have to hold them off until the cops get here. So, well, it was security, bar security that came in. And it was one of those nights where I was in such a good mood. And so, a lot of times, if you see me out, like at a club, I really will be in my own world. I hang out with my friends, and outside of them, I don't talk to a lot of people. I don't usually go to clubs to, well, now I have my silly boyfriend, so obviously there. But like then was before I'd met Christopher, and I never really go to clubs to pick up on people or meet people. I sometimes I'll meet somebody just in hanging out, but that's never my focus. So I'm not even like, oh, let me see what's around. So this situation was just silly to me, and it was really that other person's issue. Like, I hadn't done anything to taunt them, I hadn't done anything to start it with them, but I just feel like at a certain point you should be able to use your words and you should be able to talk to people. Now, every once in a while, are you gonna feel like, yeah, I would really like to whoop this motherfucker's ass? Yes, you're going to feel that way sometimes in life. That happens even when you're fully grown and you have yourself sorted out. But the main thing is you cannot let them bring that side out of you, because once they bring that side out of you, then people see that side of you and they're like, I don't really know if I want to have this around. Then in a business sense, people are like, this person's a liability, which with the way people like to sue now and the litigious society that we live in these days, you just can't really mess with that kind of stuff. So it really is the kind of thing where I like Cardi B, and I do like her energy, and I like her vibe, and I like the way she talks, and I like the way that she makes things very simple for people that are in a lot of cases coming from a place like the place that she comes from. They're not always the star student, or, there are different circumstances make people react different ways. And you can tell that Cardi B is a smart person. She's just not a book smart, a reader type person. So it's like, to me, those people need representation and to know that there is a way out and they can better themselves too. And that's the purpose that a Cardi B serves, in my opinion. And I think it's a huge help because we already know that the pretty blonde girl can make it. We already know. And like, sometimes when I say stuff like that, people think I'm holding that against the person. No, I love a lot of those types too. And having lived in LA for so long, you meet a lot of those types and you get to see their substance, like the all-American girl type, the blonde, the head cheerleader. Like, that's cool. But there's also the girls that are more like Cardi, more, like brown skinned girls that need someone to look up to, and somebody that doesn't always have the best grammar or doesn't know where to put periods and commas. And like, there's nothing wrong with like that getting some shine too, because if we're really what we're supposed to be in America, a melting pot, that needs to be represented too. And so I really like Cardi B, and I hope she brings it around. As far as Nicki Minaj goes, I think she's great too in her own way. I'm not a Nicki Minaj hater, but I don't really like that she went that route with having the girls from the bar come in. And I guess she's trying her best to like bring Cardi down. But there's also the fact that Nicki Minaj is older and she's had her full time in the spotlight. So at some point, and this is something that I want to say too, at some point when it comes to the Nicki Minaj type needs to step aside and realize that something younger is going to come along, and that doesn't necessarily have to be better. You can move on to being a legend and let this person be the up and coming or the current. And there's nothing wrong with that, and that doesn't take anything away from you at all. That's something that everybody has to accept. Even like people, like you look at yourself, like what I do in stand up. I'm gay and I've been working redneck clubs for a long time. And now there's a girl by the name of Jen Schneider who works redneck clubs, and she's gay, she's lesbian, and she's great. And so maybe she'll move into the space I was at, and then maybe I can move up to the next space. And so it doesn't have to be like, now I hate Jen Schneider, how dare she come in and do these redneck clubs and do what I do. It's like, no, and it's on a different level, obviously, than like a Cardi B and a Nicki Minaj, but it's still the same principle of, at a certain point, you got to give it up and say, okay, this person comes in and they're the new blood, and then I can sit on my throne and watch them do what they do. And then one day when they move into their throne, I'll scoot over a little bit and we'll both have our thrones next to each other and we'll watch what comes up next. So that's where I'm at with a lot of this stuff. I don't think that these people need to be fighting, especially with the amount of money that they're both making. When it comes to Cardi B and Nicki Minaj, there's room for both of them, there's money for both of them, and there's fans for both of them. So I wish they would cut this stuff out, both of them. Cardi B, you keep your hands to yourself. Nicki Minaj, you stop snitching on people. Everybody go back to making money and make some music for us, the rest of us, to shake our asses to. Right now, Barbie Dreams is a great song. Gotta give it to Nicki Minaj on that one. And then Cardi B has several songs I like that, I like it like that. I still like Bodak Yellow too. So that's where I'm at with it. You asked me about this Cardi B situation. You take your little 2 misdemeanors, you hit your little L, you put on your little ankle bracelet, and you call it a day. It's misdemeanors, girl. You ain't even gonna get an ankle bracelet. You might have to go serve a couple lunches for some community service. You might have to pay a couple fines. Why don't you just go? Never mind. Don't go back to Angel Strip Club. I was going to say kick the bitches some money at Angel Strip Club, but you ain't good for being around people you don't like. So Cardi B, you stay away from Angel Strip Club. You know what, you guys? I've talked enough. Please like, comment, subscribe. This has been Ty Rivera, the absolute best LGBTQ comedian in the world. Mwah!